Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me now and you're new to, I welcome you all with open arms. I'm AspieAnswersAll, or I'm known as Aspie for many of you who's been following me throughout my journey with this. I'm sharing my life experiences and whatnot. Just to give you a brief introductory note to the ones that I have just landed on my page for today. I'm Aspie, as you know, and I'm all about creating mental health and awareness versus sharing my life stories and experiences with Aspergers syndrome and all the other pre-diagnosed disease conditions that comes in the territory with this, as well as tips and advice, as well as basically just some, how-tos and whatnot, so that you guys can understand where I am step by step, as well as just in a way of managing it or what have you. I know that some of the management techniques that I've been taught and just learnt for myself may not help and be beneficial for all, but and all saying that though, just try it, and you never know, it may have worked, it may not. But like I said, if it doesn't work or you just see any of these classic signs and symptoms, seek professional help and advice otherwise. And I also, just to end this of the introductory, basically I do sometimes now again some video messages of hope, inspiration, to give you guys clarity, understanding and whatnot, for message of support when I can, if I can, of everyday personal struggles that you guys may go through, regardless what it may be. And hopefully with that in mind, that we can support each other and grow within each other and know each other no matter what. Even though, like I said, I'm hoping for this channel to be as user-friendly as possible for what I would like to address. So in all for the day, guys, today's topic is basically going to be about something that someone has asked the question of, and I've been asked this a lot, basically about maybe ways in preventing anger in your relationship or of any kind, be it, your personal relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend who has Aspergers syndrome, or even just, basically a family friend, or just maybe a brother or sister, or whoever it may be, so that hopefully I can guide you through this and actually let you know how to go about it, and hopefully prevent you guys from having future disagreements with your loved ones or whoever it may be that you're struggling with. Basically, I know for a fact though that in every relationship it's different, and everybody has their struggles regardless what it may be. And I'm hoping that with these tips and advice will hopefully give you guys some better understanding about your loved one who has Aspergers syndrome, and hopefully you guys learn to grow within each other. If you're the neurotypical, hopefully we can learn from you, and vice versa, you can learn from us, because it's all about giving and taking, and also just getting to know us as a whole, besides the mask of the diagnoses basically of this condition. So let's begin this. Obviously this tips and advice is going to break it down into 8 steps of preventing these anger towards someone with Aspergers syndrome, and hopefully within this that you'll be able to, like I said, understanding, get a better clarity towards maybe why we act differently to you guys, sort of thing, because many people make that mistake that we're all the same and we should be molded into a box in that same label, that we should be like UNTs operating in that kind of form of thing. But as I said so many times before, I can't stress it enough, we're not like that at all. We're all different in our every different experiences, life journey and everything else, and we just need to hopefully be able to learn from each other and respect each other one way or another. Let's hope that with this you will have a happier and healthier relationship or friendship or what have you with your loved one or your friend or whoever with Aspergers syndrome. So number one for this first step is know the triggers. Okay, what I mean here is you've got to know what triggers off your anger in the first place. What stemmed it in the first place? What was it that actually caused you to that? You can't always put the fault onto that particular someone. Like I've learned, you can't put the fault onto someone or the situation. Maybe you need to take a step back and actually reevaluate the situation that you're in, basically, when you were angry with that particular someone. Basically, you need to know, obviously, as the first step for this, of the triggers that has triggered it, of this anger or what have you, that's made you want to knock on wood or throw fists at that particular someone, whatever it may be that you feel. You need to know the triggers, obviously, also to prevent it from happening in the first place. Perhaps maybe a reasoning behind it is you feel that you have been let down by others, or you have imagined people that has expected too much from you in the past and present without giving anything back in return to you. So you are the kind of person that wants something given back in return, sort of thing. I know I would, just to bear in mind, obviously, because I've been doing a lot of giving in my time of what I've learned in relationships, friendships, and all the like. Even though many people may still think I'm still hard to handle, too hard to understand, and everything else, why would I be when I'm just like you guys, probably asking for the same things, but maybe I'm asking too much from some people. Many people think I have high expectations of others around me, but it's not always about expectations as such, as I said in one of my videos. It's all about having my personal standards and looking after my self-worth and value. Okay, if your brother, friend, colleague, loved one, or whole about acts in a certain way towards you, okay, for this, your first response is to feel let down, misunderstood, or taken advantage of, right? Well, from there, it's not a big step to become, not the big step to becoming angry, obviously. On the other hand, okay, whoever it may be that's, you know, has this Asperger's syndrome, we may be the likely target of source of the anger, but then again, you've got to bear in mind though, yes, we have our differences, needs, and whatever it may be, but you need to bear in mind also within our needs, having Asperger's autism, and that we need to accommodate that, as well as we're trying to tailor and accommodate your guys' needs of the NTs. You know, for some of us that are that has autism, Asperger's, some of us may feel that we are competitive, that we're competing time and time again. Okay, a classic example of this to illustrate here, it doesn't take much for interactions between the two of us to be about one person winning and the other losing. However, just to be in mind, maybe, you know, we react differently or more logically and less emotionally than you do. But bear in mind, as I said so many times before, just because we're not showing the right form of formulation of expressing our feelings and emotions towards you, just because people may think we're just looking and gazing at your face and not think, you know, expressing it in the way you guys want it. We are expressing it in our own way. You know, we are absorbing the information. We are actually observing basically your guys' behaviors. Like I said so many times before in one of my videos, basically for me, like I did that type thing where I'm sitting down observing and whatnot and trying to establish what's the right way of doing things. I know that despite it all, it can get up some people's goat, you know, thinking that, you know, if I'm just looking at you guys bluntly or blankly into space or whatever it may be. But bear in mind that I am still listening, and I'm sure that your loved one with Asperger's or what have you is too. Okay, you gotta remember also, if you notice any of the feelings, if you notice feelings that's put into place, and the particular someone with Asperger's is listening to logic, you know, or have misunderstood each other's needs and perspectives, is likely the case. Okay, that has caused you to get angry. Now, what triggers the anger will help you and whoever it is with Asperger's to actually overcome this and cope and deal with it in a better way. Number 2, listen. Okay, many people tend to think just because it's a one-sided relationship that they think that, you know, it's okay just to put everything on our platter to basically think, okay, this is what we need out of you. Like, again, give and take. It's like double standards here. It's like, that's what I've noticed with some parts of my relationships that may have failed with these double standards. I'm trying to fit into your guys' bubble of what you guys want out of me, whatever it may be it in a relationship or friendship otherwise. And it's like, okay, yeah, I have had a few disagreements here and there about this. Many people will just laugh at me, point the fingers at me, thinking, no, this is not the way to go, girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I'm just sharing some of this as well, of these tips, steps to prevent this, as well as just my experiences, hopefully, so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Maybe you need to listen to our point of view with the one with the Asperger's syndrome. Even though you may disagree, try to understand the position we're in, obviously, from our perspective. Hearsay. Many of the conflicts in relationships of any kind, however, may occur because each person feels that they're not being heard. So we have to shout from the rooftops, here's an example, you know, saying what we want. Sometimes we validate our feelings. Some of us just feels that, you know, we feel that we need to just listen and that, but it's good to listen and hear out what other people is listening. As they say, there's two words there, listening and hearing. There's differences in those definitions of what it means of those two words. But anyway, carrying on. There is no harm in listening, however. As I said before, it's okay to disagree, to agree, or agree to disagree. You know, we are entitled for our own opinions, our own thoughts, and whatever else. But sometimes, you know, we feel we need to validate our needs as well as your needs and feelings by listening. But then again, it would be nice if maybe you can try to do this as well, to validate your needs or our needs and feelings by just listening to us and encouraging, you know, us in a way, or show us in a way that you are actually listening, so that it encourages us and actually gives us the forefront. Oh yes, you have heard what I've said. This is another crucial step, obviously, towards starting a useful dialogue. Obviously, listening is the most effective tool for communication as well as just interacting. But as I said before, you've got to bear in mind, though, for many of us with autism, Asperger's syndrome, and the like, of certain other conditions, basically, some of us do struggle with social interaction versus communication and all that. So you've got to bear in mind that not to baby us as such with baby words just because you think we're stupid, crazy, or whatever it may be. It's just we're differently. Okay, it's just a matter of accepting each other's differences as well, as I said before so many times before. Okay, tip number 3 before I run out of time of these, basically understand Asperger's syndrome. Okay, people with Asperger's syndrome basically don't necessarily have the same needs to express emotions as you NTs, however. As I said before, we may have difficulty interpreting nonverbal language and emotions of others or to others, especially because most autistic people I have come across are nonverbal. Okay, I used to be like that, and now I'm starting to be an introvert versus an extrovert. I'm a bit of a go-between here, sort of thing, how I'm looking at it. But then again, you know, maybe I'm becoming too extroverted, how I'm expressing myself sometimes when I feel the need to arise. Yes, many people may test my buttons. I know that for a fact, like anyone would, be it in a friendship, relationship, or just being with people in general. But it's a matter of how we go about dealing with it. You know, okay, we got to also remember in this too, for this number 3, facial cues such as frowning or staring may not be read accurately or at all. Some of us may read between the lines, some of us just misread it altogether. Some of us may be black and white thinking versus black and white, whatever. So it's about a give and take. Okay, you got to remember their own emotions may feel intense to them because of the heightened sensitivity to feelings, situations, or too painful sensory experiences such as the loud noises or bright lights that is around us, regardless what it may be. Just got to bear in mind that most of us that are on that autistic scale, obviously, that no matter what, that some of us will be sensitive to certain things of the 5 classic senses, as I said. Many people will say that it may be in our head, we're crazy, you're just joking, right? Or whatever kind of look at us. But then again, I've come across so many not arrogant, what's the right word to word it, ignorant people due to the lack of understanding and awareness about us, of our, you know, sensitivity to certain things and the environment around us, and as well as, you know, socializing with you guys. I give, you know, big high ups to the ones that are actually, of the ones that I've been talking to that has autism and the like, that they are bringing out themselves out there a bit more on the social media, or even maybe trying to engage with people in the public side, you know, so that to show that we're not afraid as such. We're not like what you guys are trying to put us in that bubble. As I said before, we need to remove that stigma and stereotyping about what all these mental health disorders is all about. Just breaks me sometimes, as well as, you know, what I see and feel at times. The give and take of intimacy may seem more likely, unpredictably, and irrationally. Things to minimize and avoid, obviously. You got to remember that many people have that assumption, as I said in one of my misconceptions, that many people feel that people with autism doesn't feel at all with feelings and emotions and whatever else it may be. Excuse the coughing here. I'm just exaggerating here. Basically, that's false. We do feel. Some of us may feel deeply than others that are like the NTs, or as the others I'm putting you guys under, because many of us, as I said before, sensitive to of our five classic senses: feel, touch, taste, whatever it may be. So therefore, you got to bear in mind though, we do feel, but probably in a different way than you guys do. Even though many of us autistics may be more empathetic than the ones that are NTs with the impatience and all that. But sure, yeah, okay, as people with Asperger's do have our faults, imperfections, flaws, and whatever. I'm not trying to pinpoint anything here or put blame or anything. I'm just sharing, as I said, based on my experiences, what I've seen and bought from. Okay, if you can understand from their point of view how we work, basically, you may be less likely to be angry, you know, yourself. So it's about, like, as I said, creating that understanding and awareness for you guys, and hopefully with that is basically comes at a cost, obviously. Tip number 4 for the step is calm down. Did I hear right? Yeah, I'm probably hearing you guys. Calm down. Are you saying that we're at fault? No, I'm not. It's difficult for all of us to think calmly and rationally while we're angry. It's a given. Regardless where we're at, regardless of the conflicts that we're going through. Sometimes I've noticed that for us to calm down, we need to take a deep breath, take ourselves away from the situation. Even though how I've dealt with the conflicts, obviously, I've been told off that I shouldn't be walking away all the time, as if I'm walking away from my problem. But this is what works for me. If I'm in the middle of a conflict or something is so overwhelming for me when someone is raging at me like a Red Bull, while angry and whatever else and stuff, maybe we need to take a break from that person for a bit, for a few minutes, regardless where we're at of that situation, and hopefully within that come back later in a calmer state and talk it out, hopefully. Okay, you got to remember basically that while working through conflict, it is important for us to feel calm, and also calming the initial emotional response is also crucial here for the both of us. Only then you are likely to express your own anger constructively and deal with that anger similarly with each other. Do something relaxing, distracting to help you calm you down while you're in that state. Maybe take a 15 to half an hour minute walk, regardless, even though maybe some people's anger will be longer than that. Physical activity often helps let go of the negative feelings we feel towards each other and upon ourselves. Number 5, don't build resentments. Okay, once you feel calmer and you return back to the situation at hand that made you angry with that particular someone, you can address the problem more constructively. Try to do this as close to the time when you experience it as possible, rather than letting that resentment build up. Over time, you can learn to recognize your anger cues sooner rather than later, and maybe react differently to the person with Asperger's syndrome, so that you can prevent the build-up of a next glass of resentment and or anger. Number 6. This is the one many people forget about. Work for or with your particular someone with Asperger's is not against. Okay, anger between two people generally requires a mutual agreed upon that given solution, right? Regardless of what caused that anger in the first place. Work together on a possible solution that will work both for you and your loved one with Asperger's syndrome. Write down points of agreement and disagreement and address them one by one to one another. Obviously, now write down as many possible solutions that you can both think of. Start with points of agreement so you both feel you're making progress. Find the likes and dislikes and whatever else weighs up your options there. Find mutual agreement ideas and continue until you reach a reasonable compromise between you both. Number 7, try to find solutions. Okay, instead of talking about what to do, try the things you've both agreed might help as listed above. Okay, be sure you agree about who will do what and when, however. And just to be clear about what you'll both be able to do if it doesn't work. Be as specific as possible, however. Few things are more detrimental to solving a problem than vague goals and ambiguous consequences, however. As I've learned now that basically I'm all about problem solving, despite it all, as you guys may have known, because of the tips and advice I've given you, based on everything, and then, yeah. But last but not least, to end this, before I run out of time is evaluate. No plan works if there's no way to tell if then you've accomplished what you have set out to do. As I said, always important to have goals and certain things to put into place. Right? If you find out what your solution to the anger wasn't working, talk with that particular someone with Aspergers syndrome, especially if you're in that relationship, friendship stage with that person, and just, you know, maybe talk about what will actually work. You know, brainstorm some new options, obviously. Find mutually agreeable steps to take different actions again. Find with these mutually agreeable steps that you have found to take maybe in a different direction and decide to actually maybe do it in that possible. I know for a fact, just to end this, to do this to the best of your ability. Keep at it. Persistence is key, as well as patience. The cycle of generating solutions, implementing and evaluating the results, basically, will lead you and your person that has, you know, Asperger's syndrome to reach a successful resolution of the anger that often occurs as a result from the Asperger's syndrome or what have you, basically. So this basically ends quickly on the 8 steps to prevent anger with someone that has Asperger's syndrome. Give me a like for thumbs up for support. Comment below if I missed out anything, or comment below if any tips and tricks that you may find might be possible. I'm opening the floorboard of discussion sort of thing. I would like to have a bit of feedback here and there also of the comments below, also of the ones who've been, you know, watching, and actually give me, you know, heads up of some of the stuff I've been giving, if that's working or not, and, you know, get us going in a way of interacting one another. Feel free to follow me on the social media sites of Facebook and Twitter, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. And all further ado, guys, thanks for the support, thanks for watching. Do what you love, what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out. I'll see you again soon.